You just pinch mommy? Did you?
No.
Yeah.
Parents have different ways of disciplining their children. Some believe in verbal discipline and others in physical punishment.
Don't put your on my what?
You're saying you do it once a week or more even. If
No,
it's working,
not more.
I mean,
Maybe
if you do it once
week.
and it supposedly works, why do you have to keep doing it?
But at this point, at 2.5 years old, when she's doing certain behaviors, I just look at her and she knows. She stops. I don't need to go to the
She's
spanking.
afraid of you.
No, she's not afraid of me. She knows that she'll get in trouble. No.
Go to your room.
Some say that banning physical punishment interferes with the right of parents disciplining their children.
I think we need to clarify right from the beginning that children's rights are human rights. So we are not necessarily bringing something different or something out of the sky, because children are humans, so they also have rights. And what we say, with those rights come responsibilities as well. So when it comes to corporal punishment within the family home, we are saying really, as parents, as caregivers, we need to think about what are we teaching our children when we hit them.
Well, the thing that really makes me nervous is some of you said you have daughters, and I've worked with battered women, and they defend their husbands for what they did. At what point do you tell your daughter, it was okay for me to hit you, but it's not okay for a husband to hit you? Or do you expect them to grow up thinking that sometimes I deserve it, sometimes I should be hit, sometimes I behaved wrong?
I have 3 daughters. If my husband laid a finger on me and I was spanked, I would be out of that house before he could blink.
And yet your children are smaller.
Because I'm sorry, but me and my girls are not idiots. You know the difference between a man abusing his wife and a mother lovingly disciplining their child.
Talking about spanking and how parents discipline their kids, I want to bring in
Dr. George Holden
says
says spanking a child is wrong.
For decades now. What do you make of what you're hearing from these moms?
Well, my first reaction is it's incredibly common. In our society, anywhere from 70 to 90% of parents engage in this kind of behavior. So it's not shocking to me at all. However, it is concerning because I'm convinced that spanking is the wrong way. Any form of hitting a child, whether it be slapping or spanking.
You know, there's violence against children, yes, but you're advocating physical punishment from a very young age. You say if a baby is breastfeeding and it bites the mother, you say to pull the baby's hair.
On 19 October 2017, the South Gauteng High Court has ruled that spanking your child is now illegal in South Africa.
Is there any truth to the concerns that some parents have that these rights have now spoiled the children? They know they can get out of line because there's no punishment that they'll receive from the parent, and if there is any punishment, that they can get their parents arrested. So is there any merit to that concern that these rights are actually working against discipline?
I think for some time the emphasis was very much on children's rights, to a point that, as you say, parents felt that we are taking their rights away from them. But now we have shifted to a point where we are balancing children's rights with their responsibilities. And then when it comes to what is happening within the family home, yes, to some extent, if a parent hits a child to a point that there are marks and there is bodily harm, that needs to be reported. Not necessarily because the parents will be arrested, but there is a recognition that it means there are challenges, that parents are facing some difficulties in terms of disciplining that young person, and that the family as a unit, they need support in terms of what is going on and how else can the situation or issues be addressed within a family home. Because when matters are reported to us as Childline, and I would assume other organizations, including government departments, it's not necessarily that we will run to the court process and arrest and convict parents, but we look at what support is required as the first port of call. And then if things don't change over time, of course, and the child and the young person continues to be at risk, then we need to look at other alternatives.